Sick, already pushing up inside of U-Haul as well. Paint shells out. This creates some space, but now stuns out and tens with an initial one. Also push forward his gate crash. Could possibly dive deep into sight when necessary, but it's still Sentinels. A hell of a grasp on this site and worried about the flank as well. They'll take out one, but now it's just nature as tens takes down Kusta.
Play from tens, working out very well so far. dapr also able to move in and pick up one for himself here and ultimately close things out with the final kill as well. The entries are strong. It's just the shock darts working their way out. Decides to deploy the Seekers. This will be a good choice. They all immediately get countered, but the problem is tens with the gate crash goes to the wrong spot. I think he was hoping it would have been a little bit deeper in the site. Not the case, though. Of course, right into Sean's crosshair. Easy pick for him. Let's see if he can make it multiple, because those shots through the wall are slowly chipping him down, ultimately to the point where ShahZaM can now re-peek, taking him down. Possible Nebula being deployed here to block out GMD, and in fact it will. It's not an all-obscuring smoke, so we can play to the edge of it and see. Might be able to get a little bit aggressive against the Sen play that's boiling out now onto this site.
The Sentinels have done such a good job of breaking up this site. GMD trying to play for the cross from elbow, but everyone attentive to the situation. They knew that smoke was going to come down and made sure no one was sitting behind it with open arms, and they'll be able to get that frag. Nature now, very similar straits to what we just saw his fallen member, GMD, go down in exact same fashion. We'll see if this smoke is going to come down or if Nature is going to push through. He will. Takes the garden fight, able to get one. Can he get the second? It's not his chance. Instead, it's Sentinels to take both of them down and leave Kusta inside of a 1v3. This rifle round was supposed to be the saving grace for them, but now it's going to go by the wayside. That's going to be all the guns to Sentinels, as they'll pick up all of those rifles and have some solid economy along with it.
Pretty much detect immediately this is not going to be a full buy coming in, but Nature, what a shot. He's not going to be the only one he finds for himself either. Unfortunately, GMD does end up killing Nature as the paint shells get a little bit too close for comfort, so we'll have a rare team kill pop up as a result of that. But ultimately, the Sentinels have still been able to control this situation, even with that play unfolding. Zombs, as you can see here, out towards Fountain, handling the straggler, that being Kusta.
Space with this Raise utility. Paint shells out first and Showstopper now. No RPG. Tens literally goes right in behind him and Sean shuts him down. Saw the gate crash on the other side. An amazing play from Tens to be able to stop that ult. But now GENG finally have an opportunity. Seekers out, trying to find any of these stragglers as Sean still slotted in behind the Sentinels offense.
Second time now that GMD has been isolated out and taken down by the dimensional drift, so he just can't catch a break, it seems, over these past few rounds. Regardless, though, plant on the ground, but the Sentinels are in established post-plant scenarios. That dark cover could be great because the only other angle they had against this just got killed. That was dapr over towards garden. They can hard hold this defuse now and more than likely get it. They're trying to spam it. There we go. ShahZaM finds out the first target trying to defuse here. Nature looking to support, but he can't maintain. He's the last to fall, and the Sentinels get it done from behind a dark cover. He's still alone here. He's got to be very cautious with the way he plays this forward position, as he can get caught out if he's not careful. But instead, he's going to catch 6. The flash as well to find Zombs, and it works. Sean shutting both of the players down to try to commit to the push, but he's got more on the way from Hookah. And unfortunately, is finally going to fall to that. Tens takes him down, and the plant will go down onto the ground. Look at how low both dapr and Tens are, though. This is incredibly winnable for GENG.
2v3, it's definitely doable for both of these squads right now, but it all starts now with Tens. He'll be able to get the initial frag. He's looking for the ace if he can get it. The stun out, and Sentinels. What is that? They just put him right through the blend. What's going on, especially around this garden area, continually ran by Sean. Hasn't been the worst thing in the world, continually finding frags, and finally GENG getting some big ones when it comes to Hookah. Michael also procuring one as well. This is looking like the best GENG round that we've had thus far, and it is going to be. In fact, it'll be their first round of the entire game here inside of round 9. Re-engagement, minimal time now as both of them are recouping. What has happened thus far? Obviously that Viper ult still working out in the defensive, or excuse me, offensive favor. The dapr gets taken down, that'll drop. Tens gets in behind him, he makes the play, it's a distraction, but GMD, he slides out from showers, and he'll also take down the last Sentinels members.
Routes there, in fact, only one going to be done by him, another done instead. GENG's smokes bringing out there on their omen. Not going to pay out, though, as we see 2 more come in for GENG. Hold from the Sentinels is all going to fall to ShahZaM. Shock Dart's in. That doesn't work, but the peek outright does. Recon Bolt also in there. It's going to get destroyed. Shock Dart to the corner. Won't connect onto Sean, and Sean as well will be able to move himself forward to get the kill. Does he have enough time for this defuse, though? And yes, he does, by only a few seconds. 2.48 to be exact, but it's enough to give GENG the round.
Forward move, try and slide into space. GMD early on the showstopper, not able to get much done. Now down to 20 seconds. Paint shells out to prevent the plant. GMD will be able to get one. He knocks out the Sova, looking for zombs as well. He'll get the flick onto that. Spike down, paint shells out. Does dapr eat it? Tries to slide around, but it's a pre-fire through the wall. They knew he was going for the spike, and nature will secure it. GENG, wake up and grab 4 rounds.
Too late here, especially with the gun power that's still in play. We're going to see, though, Michael does take down ShahZaM, and that's full control of the site, gone over to GENG. Now it's all up to Sentinels to retake, and they only have the defender spawn angle to work from.
Well, it's a great start here for GENG, getting that spike down and putting the Sentinels in a precarious position here for the pistol. Down a man and now trying to defuse. Doesn't seem like they'll be able to stop it. Sick, taking quite a bit of damage, and finally they'll be able to get him off of it, but he's got it halfway done. Only thing is now Sick into the 1 versus 3, very minimal HP. He's trying to round the area, seeing if he can get any disjointed 1v1s. He'll find the initial one, but he's doing a bang-up job of keeping him locked outside of A for the time being.
Sam walking right up to a potential target here. He's gonna go up against Sean, wins the fight too, and the follow-up against a Michael. Very well played by ShahZaM, and the action for Sentinels isn't even over just yet. Zom starts to fend off the showers push, only goes 1 for 1 though, and is gonna let Nature out. Sick seems to not be aware that Nature's gotten out as well. The misread on the situation is costly for the Sentinels roster here. It's let their opponents into the site, likely going to allow them to get a plant down onto the ground here now as well. They're still being cautious, watching out for this lurk from ShahZaM, which is coming through the A portal. Maybe the only reason they're holding off from going for the plant right now, but problem is wasting all this time. Now lost any opportunity they might have had to get the plant on the ground in the first place. Kusta is completely surrounded. He's lost his only other team support. Tries to bait out TenZ, but instead TenZ outright kills Kusta.
Luckily enough, it's been slow moving for GENG. They haven't moved out of showers as dapr's been able to hold them off here, but they've been able to use the wall to at least get a plant on the U-Haul truck. So good news for GENG going into the post plant. They've taken down 2 Sentinels members now, and this is looking like a free round for them if they're able to win out these engagements. But it all starts now with ShahZaM, and he's able to get 2. Shock Dart gun, it doesn't matter. He's good for it. TenZ now with the ult. He'll be able to clear out everybody. He's telling them exactly where they are. They see 2, shooting right through U-Haul with the Hunter's Fury. The dimensional shift going to go away in just a second. Kusta trying to get the swing. He'll win 1, but not the second. It's down to the 1 versus 1, where Nature finally creeps out from U-Haul. ShahZaM's Hunter's Fury not able to find him.
Not going to be the case. GENG beats him to the punch. They will have plenty of time to get that plant down, but the rest of the team also here from the Sentinels seems to not matter much though for Kusta as he gets himself a nice double, triple overall on the round, accounting for the kill he got earlier. Now, only TenZ and Sick left alive to try and pull off a retake here, and for them, they've worked their way out pretty far onto the site, but this is all by design. GENG want the play to go this way. Now, they want to take these angles very far back. Because they have the player advantage, they can just play off of each other on the current angles, make sure they trade their way to victories. They have more than enough players to do so. Double swing, for instance, there against TenZ makes quick work as a 1-for-1 transpires. Sick, now the only player left here, trying to really just race up to the site, catches Sean unaware, but now really out of time to even get onto the spike. So he's just gonna hop into the portal, get out of here. GMD working his way forward into the site. He's got the showstopper ready to go. He just can't find a target to shoot it at. And even the one that is finally deployed is still off the mark to actually find ShahZaM. He survives that somehow. TenZ and him will continue to maintain pressure at the edge of long. Zombs will start the retake though as he takes down Nature. That will also destroy the pit.
That's a big pick for the Sentinels there, as that'll render it useless.
Oh my goodness,
Pit
TenZ.
down, and TenZ, someone that doesn't miss very often, but apparently his misses comes in packs. Well, he won't miss that time around. He takes down Kusta. It's a 1v3 now for GENG, and more specifically Sean. And as well, Spike is planted for him. Still has some guiding lights to be able to use. Guiding light out, but he blinds himself immediately. Swings into it. He'll take down ShahZaM, looking for the frag, but TenZ finally seals it, not missing this time around as the operator will ring true.
3 of their players, in fact, going to commit to that right now, with the other 2 grouping up in mid, probably going to be working their way in through hookah. It's a 1-to-1 start, though, so not too promising for GENG here, especially with dapr still being an issue on the inside of hookah. Takes down Kusta, is going to look to take down the 2 aggressors working their way in naturally for mid, but that gets stopped by Sean. The showstopper's out, but it's going to go way out to left field, and Nature gets away with these 2 kills for 3 overall on the round. That leaves only zombs alive, and GENG with a very high possibility of securing the 12th round over the next few seconds.
All right, so explosive from Sentinels, trying to regain control here, but simply cannot get it done. It's going to be the blind from Sean, guiding light out into spawn, and it's exactly what will happen as it pours out of showers. They're looking for a plant here at their earliest convenience, but not before zombs is able to get Sean, and Michael takes down dapr.
zombs another one as he's still holding strong inside of the midpoint here. Tens with the wraparound picks up a very important frag against Kustas. He was the first to plant. Nature also goes down to Tens only a moment later. That's a big comeback in the late round for Sentinels as they're able to secure their 11th. Only one away from OT now.
Fantastic idea there from GENG. You know, try and force everybody over to B, start putting down some utility or just sick, trying to move forward inside of this Viper's pit. He knows he has a target on the other side, goes for the flick, but it's Michael who's just that much better in this situation. GENG trying to find a way out of showers right now. They've pushed to the back of the site as well. No real chance for the Sentinels to try and combat from any facet here. Finally, somebody tries to take a peek for short, but no. dapr also met with the same fate. It's down to a 1 versus 5 for zombs to try and get the Sentinels out of map 1.
See if the hero play can come in from him, but it's just not gonna happen. GMD picks up the final frag, and GENG take the second map off of the Sentinels in a very short period of time after a record of near flawless play for what seemed to be a long time. Hold and maintain full control over the B site. Problem here for the members of GENG that have pushed themselves forward as we have a quick retake working its way in from Snowman. Kusta able to counter that out though with 2 picks on his own here. Now pushes forward to his own toxin. He's got to figure out the position of sick, and unfortunately doesn't have the most HP to work this with. In fact, he may be backing up towards mid right now. We've got the barrier orb that's going to reveal him for just a split second, but that's all sick needs as he gets his 3rd kill and the clutch as well in order to put Sentinel on the board first. However, though, he's going to prevent him from actually seeing just how much pressure is working its way down. The good news is sick did have a barrier orb. The problem is he can't play the angle as well as he did in the previous round. So some members of GENG are going to be able to sneak through into kitchen. dapr sees you managing it for the most part. He's able to go 3 for 1 on a trade. Tens now looking to get the final controlling kills here as he takes down Kusta. Another member of the team will fall. And ultimately, this goes down to the 1v1. Tens as well at 12 HP. This chaos could end us with a win for GENG after all things are considered and done. Michael has the outright advantage here too. 12 HP versus 100. Like, Mikhail's gone towards the inside of kitchen. Try and spot out Tens. Not going to be able to find him so easily, though, as he's down below Snow Pile. He's able to find out Mikhail, but no! Mikhail gets the win against Tens. It's just too easy when he's that low HP. Only needed the 1 bullet connection, and he's going to be able to make it. That'll tie us up at 1-1. From zombs on his left if he's not careful.
Well, this is troublesome now for Sentinels as ShahZaM will lose kitchen. Hunter's Fury out to try and stop the plant from happening, but it's going to be a counter's Hunter Fury as well as Sean pushes forward for GENG. He'll take down dapr, and that means that a spike plant more than likely coming just around the corner. It's down to zombs and Tens, and this is honestly the utility that you want on Tens to try and handle this. It's going to be a paint shell in right at the feet of Mikhail. He dips out. He'll be able to live as he bounces right inside of the box. Tens rounding out, though, has to deal with this Viper's pit now as he works the outside. Gonna be the screen up yet again here for Viper as well, so making things quite easy, but Sens bursts right through it. He knows that more than likely the Viper is in here as well, and the boom bot will assist in that. Trying to figure out exactly where he is, but Zombs, actually Kusta, will rotate on the outside of yellow. This has been played out so well so far from GENG. It's down to Mikhail, and Mikhail alone up against Tens. He can't find the space, but does he have the time? I don't believe so. I believe Tens is actually going to be able to get this, and yes,
close.
He will. So obviously Sentinels want to right this ship. GENG does not have the opportunity, at least in the Sentinels' eyes, to try and win this series, and that's exactly what Tens is delivering with that round. A singular bullet takes down GMD in mid.
Casual from Tens, I like it, but we're going to start to see more frags start to roll out from Sentinels' camp as well. 2 more pickups from them, but they responded Both Sean and Kusta as they find their own frags. Ultimately still in the favor of Sentinels, though, at a 3v2 right now. Sean and Kusta still left up alive on the attack. They've got the control swept out from Yellow. They just have to be very cautious. They don't necessarily know what the full setup looks like on the back site. Very worried about players that could peek out from one of those lanes and shut down the rest of this play. End up seeing the rest of it move forward here. Sean with a very nice find against ShahZaM. Equalizes out the player count. Down to a 2v2. Paint shells as well will force the rotate from Sick out into the open, and Sean will also catch that. He's up to 3 kills on this round. Here's the flank from TenZ. First kill's a miss, but the follow-up is successful against Kusta. One more to take down. Will he get it? No! The showstopper from Sean wins it out as he gets the quad. It's getting a little bit too hot for comfort. ShahZaM will get spotted out by the recon dart, but quickly Cloud bursts it to make sure that won't get any additional info. Away from this, it's still GENG trying to figure out the best path forward. GMD has found an opening as he's worked his way up pipe for free. Now, the in the site needs to have the rest of his team to support him. He'll be able to spot out one player, but dies before he can make an impact. Zombs will take GMD down, and then Hale able to move in, find himself another pickup here before this comes down to the wire. The rotates are here from Sentinels, and they have the advantage as a result of it. Down to a 3v2. Nature evens us back out. More importantly, the spike goes down on the ground, and a miss from ShahZaM on the right click gives Nature an opportunity to frag out again. Mikhail backs up, though, too close to the wall. TenZ will spot that out, but as he moves in to try to clutch it, it is not going to pan out. Down quickly. I believe the pit's going to come out here as well. I did hear the audio cue from it, but not seeing it just there. It is going to be coming out across onto the map here now. But with the death against Nature, we're definitely going to need that extra cover to play for.
It's looking so solid right now for the Sentinels. ShahZaM, though, on the flank with the op. TenZ trying to hop into the Viper's pit. They'll finally get rid of Kusa, so that'll go down. It's all up to GMD inside of B main, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Sentinels with some awesome picks coming into the B site makes it almost impossible for GENG to try and fight back. Great defense.
Rotating through B main, and he's giving out the call the entire time, so there's going to be a full commitment from ShahZaM and zombs as long as that's the case, and the flank isn't even being watched. So dapr's allowed to go right out, find the free pick against Sean. The numbers have been evened up. The health deficit for zombs is not going to be as big of a deal anymore, but now it will be. Both Kusta and Nature picking up the entries on the A site. Those are the ones that mattered, as now dapr is up against a nigh impossible clutch here. 1v3, yes, Nature is low, but now they know where he's coming from as well. Everybody on GENG can post up to counter this exact push.
It's going to be very difficult, especially with Kusta still alive, because he just gets to play snake bites all the way from the back of A main near belt. So it'll be difficult for dapr to try and get around this one. He's already used his recon bolt, so he's flying blind for the time. Very low on time now for this spike as well, and still has to find 3 kills. You guys can see the snake bites already coming in, so dapr knows this is a lost round. He's going to try and find some frags as he's pushing out onto the other side here. Likely going to catch Sage off guard, but Nature prepared for it, still walking backwards. He can't get the stop and frag. Instead, it'll be dapr. Have a vandal, but you know what he will be able to do? Blast pack right into sight and then get shot by TenZ. That's what he can do. Blast pack out for TenZ to try and hold him back, as well as paint shells out as well. And no, it's going to be Nature actually that works his way up through 410 to take down TenZ. Speaking of which, ShahZaM with the trade, Kusa with the trade as well. It's just back and forth across the board, and Sentinels finally getting something done here. It's all down to Mikhail, who can't try and win this 1 versus 2. Zombs already has the cutoff.
Pretty much being watched. However, this timing can work out so well. Mikhail walks in, is going to be able to get the free shots onto Zombs, but Zombs wins it anyway. Nature and GMD, though, both pick up wins outside on the site itself, ultimately drifting this further into the favor of Sentinels. GMD has to be the hero here, but no, Sick denies the clutch.
Either way, though, now down to the Sentinels to try and get this execute to go off, and it starts off without a hit. ShahZaM getting 1, but GMD finally with the refrag from Raptors. He's going to continue to be able to hold this down whilst Kusta works the cross in through Maze. He'll get yet another. Mikhail tags 1 up for a 3rd in the GENG camp. Now down to a 3v2. dapr finally fighting fire with fire. He'll take 2 as well. It's a triple for him on the round, and it's all left up to Sean. Paint shell in hand, but chooses to keep it inside of his pocket anyways. And really, did it really matter at the end of the day? dapr swings it. It's a quad for him.
But after this, they can focus things up, and there's going to be a capability for them to come back.
Well, as of right now, not looking too good, at least for this round, as
that was quick.
I'm just going to hold my words, John. I think that's the best way to do it. We're going to the next round, folks.
Rotates from Snowman. Not able to use it to the best of his own capability, though, as he only gets that little bit of damage onto Nature. But there we go. Then brings the kill back home to finish off Usta. Tens as well, finding Sean. Kill will be able to sneak his way back in, at least getting him on top of the spike, but that's just before he goes down to Zombs. Tens with the paint shells showing up again, finishes off Nature. And GMG just sitting on the outside of this pit. He doesn't even know how to approach this. It's so unfortunate, as eventually he'll get pushed out from the same angle he was just looking at Zombs.
And here, as it looks like a full-blown official assault of the actual belt area. It's traded out. Nature will get 2, but they'll get 2 of their own. And it's going to be GENG to try and retake A, as 2 of their members are still out towards 2.
Tens is going to launch himself with both blast packs right into the back of the site here. Take that control for himself. Paint Shell's also going down over towards screens to block off access from that department, and with a cloud burst from ShahZaM, it has given GENG the room they need to get their spike down safely onto the ground. Usta, though, starting to work his way back in through screens here, making things look a lot more promising for them. A clean kill against ShahZaM as well stops him from getting any more forward momentum. Tens is low. He can't fight in the open like this, and he'll go down expectedly. Kyle just going to be on to dapr here now. He doesn't even have an angle onto the diffuser right now, and he's being overwhelmed by the GENG roster.
Fury doesn't end up tagging anyone, and dapr going to follow through with some of his own. Not able to secure the frag, but looking for it. He gets Sean. Tens flies in. He'll get one of his own. Can't follow it up, though. GMD, just one of his shrouded steps across the door. They're prepared for this retake now, but it's not in their favor until Nature is able to get Sean back up, but they know exactly where he was rezzed. Not able to try and secure it, though. No one being daring enough to try and dash forward or anything of the sort. And, oh, well, you see exactly why. ShahZaM's almost in some bad spots, but instead gets that tailwind, able to dash away. Nature now with 2 of his own, and it seems like a wrap here from dapr, but GMD's good for it. This is an amazing retake from GENG across the board, and they'll get it done. Sean with the last frag, and some big guns to pick up as well.
Control looks so strong in the early round there. Full response onto Tens, but it's just a small gesture at this point. Sean might be able to get something going with the paint shells, and the other issue is Tens is now back in the fight as he's been revived.
Oh, this is terrible right now for GENG. It's a 3v5 after that res. Make it a 2v5 now. dapr's going to try and go huge. Oh, what a play for the Sentinels. Right out of yellow. Clean up GENG. And that's a pretty easy peasy icebox. Using that guiding light earlier on. They're going to have to try and clear this out. He steps out at a perfect moment. He'll claim 1. Can he get the second? He'll at least assist. Kusta trying to get it done from the back of sight. It's a beautiful pinch right now onto dapr, as finally he'll be secured from Kusta as well.
They're keeping the same caliber of guns from the previous round here just because the money for those dead players. It's going to be a little rough, and that's also going to be a bit rough there. dapr, a clean opener, 2 kills going all his direction there, and Sick makes it 3 with another one just outside of short. That's GMD going down. Nature and Sean, the only 2 players left alive here for GENG. That seems that bonus round not really going to be going their way with the way things have lined up currently. They are set up on the A site to counter out this aggression. It was looking for a moment like Sentinels were going to rotate out and just go towards B, but nah, it's a 2v5. They're going to dive in on this one when they know they're at subpar weaponry too. They'll handle it quickly, and then finally
out. Do they check the corner? They will. Tens dashing right into one of his cloud bursts. He does it yet again. One standing right in front of him, but the initial one goes away. He'll lose his life because of it. We have Sentinels members shooting at Sentinels members. Everyone's so confused as to what's happening, but it's all going to come down to Kusta in a 1 versus 3. And Kusta, you Sentinels members, but who else will? Be Kusta with a hell of a flick as he takes down ShahZaM. A reset here from Tens is Sean holding things back inside of short. It's going to be Kusta yet again for a beautiful frag, but not before Tens takes him down after he updrafts on top of the boxes. Tens trying to make it work for his team out of short, pre-firing everything he possibly can, but Sean with a beautiful read will shoot him right through the dark cover. It's all down to dapr now instead of a 1v3, but he doesn't necessarily have the time in order to make this happen. He'll at least get a frag, a participation trophy for round 6, but it's going to be GENG with the round overall. Rounds initially playing C long and nobody pushes into him. Next round, gets multiple frags on A long, and well, it's happening again in between these 2, but this time it's Tens and Sean, as Sean trades out Tens. Now down into a 4v4. Kusta will still maintain his presence on A long, though, as the Sentinels have pushed up short. He'll be able to procure himself ShahZaM as well as the spike. That's the read that they need, as he'll be able to at least see that go down. No big momentum shift here from GENG, though, on defense, as they're simply going to sit on their hands and see what the Sentinel response will be.
50 seconds left here, so Sentinels, once again, going to be forced into making a choice sooner rather than later, but the longer they sit back and wait, the more opportunities they seem to give over to Gen G to make the aggressive plays like what we just saw from Sean there. He strikes true, brings the Sentinels count total down to only 2 players alive here between dapr and zombs. Zombs just going to commit to the inside of garage, as C seems like the best option for them at this point, and I would generally agree with that. Nature will block off the backside to make it seem like they have more presence, and of course slow down the pacing of this push so that he can do that. A very clean double from him to establish the fourth of Sentinels, however, is now Sean. They have to very well go up against a 3-player push. He's going to get a step ahead of them, however, as he moves out and catches tens. That's the knives gone to the ground. Obviously, not a huge loss in the economy game there, but still, an ultimate gone by the wayside. Tens not going to be able to assist with that aggressive entry any further. In fact, they're still down a player. Kusta trying to capitalize upon this now. They're going to end up using the Cosmic Divide, and on top of that, a Gravity Well will stop Sean from pushing directly past it to immediately punish the plant attempt. For dapr, though, still trying to spam in and work past this point, but won't be able to do the damage necessary. In fact, here comes Sean right through the Cosmic Divide, and the rest of the team is not too far behind. Seekers are out to find the positions of the players in mid to get the neural theft going as well to get that information doubly so, but even so, getting on the defuse is a bit of an issue here right now for Gen G. Mikhail tries to go for it, but no! Sens somehow hold on and pick up the round for themselves.
It's gonna be an ult for Sick now. He'll get rid of the camera. He gets blinded though, but not that big of a deal as Tens dashes forward on the flat. They're gonna take out 3 members of Gen G here at the very beginning of the round, and it seems like the Sentinels do not want to slow down anytime soon.
That's a definitive execute coming out there from Set after the round they won in the previous play. Now looking to really try and lock things down here. They might as well already have it for themselves. There's no way Gen G is going for a retake at this point. Cal and Kusta way over on the other side of the map, holding on to A. And before they could even start their rotate, pretty much all 3 of the C players were dead. So it's a non-starter for them on the retake. They're going to sit back and serve the guns once again and play out this save.
Oh, Sick. He's got a curveball, so more than likely an easy frag for him. He'll at least get that one. Kusta's got to play safe now as he's been forced even deeper inside of long. He's trying to find any frag that he can, and oh man, this is so worrisome. He's going to end up losing the op, and we're going to have very similar execute properties here for Sentinels. It's Sick with the run it back. We're going to have a dash forward from the Jet as well, and still a perfectly safe and fully healthy Sentinels roster to put a spike down.
I mean, these have been like crystal clean executes from Sentinels for the last 3 rounds now here. Just waltzing up right to the site, winning pretty much every single engagement and almost every single time, bringing it down to a 5v2 or a 4v2.
Yes, indeed, my friend. And speaking of what's been happening to Gen G, we're seeing more of the same. And for our friend Mikhail, still going to be keeping that average combat score as well, although probably younger at this point, sadly. So I have to see if he's able to bounce back later on. But you have to feel for Gen G right now as they cannot find a single answer to anything that the Sentinels are doing. It's just so very forceful. Gen G can simply not rotate people fast enough to try and deal with it. They get full site control, and there's not much you can do really past that on those re-entries, especially with what is happening to this poor round. And then, okay, Tens is also going to go down as what's happening currently inside of a lobby. Gen G, and more specifically Sean, with a huge round, one that they've been desperately looking for, also going to send out the Seekers, and he knows that ShahZaM's close. It's a dark cover now to try and get him out. We'll see if he's able to do so. Trailblazer out to try and hunt him down as well, and he'll actually get the heck out of dodge. Sean does not get any insight onto his current rotation either, so it's up to the remaining Gen G members to try and shut this down. Nature with a beautiful shot onto Tens, but it's immediately refragged. But this is looking like a Gen G round, finally, after so very long. And more importantly than that, it looks like Mikhail might be able to get up and past this ACS that we've been talking about. ShahZaM now into the 1 versus 4, has an opportunity coming out of garage, although it's quite bleak. Spike right in front of him, the cross being held from Kusta, and it's a quick burst from the Bulldog to end us on these halves.
We're going to see, I believe that was a dark cover sent out towards garage and trying to bait them into thinking that they are indeed still going for either the mid or the C side. But meanwhile, Tens is all alone on A, at least upstairs he is, but he's been able to rip 2 player heads off anyway. Nature and Kusta both both gone. Tens really taken out by the shock dart. He's able to dodge out of the way, but the damage is fully taken down anyway. But Tens with 2 more as well, only to go down to GMD on the final kill, but it doesn't matter. The rest of Sen can easily overwhelm him and pick up the second half pistol.
Utility when it comes to trying to find intel. Yeah, they do still have the camera of nature, but you can run a dog around and try and find some people. Makes it a lot easier. GMD will initially get 1, but zombs follows up with 2 of his own, and that's spike control, like you said, inside of sewer. See what Gen G's response is, but as of right now, low on economy and only having these 2 rifles, this kill's gonna matter a lot. Can dapr get both? He does! And Sentinels push Gen G right back into the hole.
A lot of those ones right now, it is being a big difference maker for Gen G aside a couple of the other members of this roster too. We're gonna see Sick try to burst his way out into the open. Tens right behind him. It doesn't work. 3 quick kills. One of them's the run it back, of course, as they work their way forward. ShahZaM is also able to go 1 for 1, but these trades do not favor Sen anymore at this point in the round here. They're down into the 4v2, the very same situation that Gen G was dealing with in the last half for so many rounds in a row. And now, finally, Gen G gets some revenge here. He's going to put that pressure right back onto Sentinels. dapr, with the first good refrag, though, against Sean, will open up the potential for these guys to start pushing back out.
Well, for the Sentinels, onto the retake now. I have utility down here for Gen G as GMD pushes himself forward with the Shrouded Step. An opportunity here to continue to hold this down. Astra utility in tow as well as Kusta's got the cross. It's not looking too hot for dapr as well as zombs as he's the last remaining member for the Sentinels, and he's simply just going to hold the exit. Can't do much more, and definitely a round going in favor of Gen G. Fantastic.
It's going to be a light defense as they work their way in, and they were correct to assume so. The rotates are here from Sen, but once again, this is going to be tough to get back out onto the site here now. However, despite that fact, they've gotten 3 untraded kills here. Kusta finally responding with 1, but it seems like it's far too much pressure, far too quickly from Sen, and they retake it with no problems whatsoever.
Insane retake there, as well as Garage being handled currently. So worried about every single facet of this area, and Sick going to get a fantastic read onto this. He sees the cloud smoke up top, but does he know that Jet is more than likely inside of this? He'll work forward instead. It's Kusta with the first kill, but Sick with the refrag. Curveball's out, but now it's Tens as well to hop inside. Sick and ShahZaM and all of the Sentinels mostly hopping right into C.
Cosmic Divide being the most obvious one that now works its way out onto the C site. There's immediately players in position. Sick, though, splitting up this attack, and this is going to be problematic here for Gen G. It comes down to just ShahZaM as well as zombs to play out the rest of this round for Sentinels, and they're holding Nature. Now the last hope here for Gen G. He's going to move forward, but falls to ShahZaM, and that'll be the end of it as Sentinels take the map and the series 2-1. We'll be right back for the post-map.